What's up with y'all?
Hey, what it do?
It's your boy Ari, the architect, with More Than a Haircut podcast. I didn't even do that the last time. I feel like a damn dummy, but I'm not. I'm not even gonna put that pressure on myself. But I got a guest, a friend. You know what I'm saying? I been following for a minute. Met her through my homeboy Derek Grace's in-home banking course, which I was glad to actually go through the course when I did get a chance to check it out. So I suggest anybody that is willing to learn and open to learn, you know, take some time out and go and check out what Derek Grace has to offer. So first and foremost, what's your name and where you from?
My name is Stixx. That's my stage name, not my government name. I am from California, but currently living in Virginia.
That's how y'all thought.
Big facts.
For sure. What part of Virginia?
Northern Virginia, all the upper class folks.
I got family out there, and I want to say, is it Richmond? It's somewhere in Virginia.
I'm like 3 hours from Richmond.
It's like military town, wherever it is. I don't know. I don't know the exact. Don't quote me. You know that boy.
Oh, it's okay. I've been here for 5 years and I still don't know it like that.
That boy Easy said, "Don't quote me, boy," because I ain't said shit. Well, nah. So, to get things kind of started off, how has the COVID 19 affected you? I guess like personally as well as like mentally, you know, just
I would say personally, like, okay, let me start mentally. Mentally, I feel like I'm not as prepared as I could have been, but I was in the process of getting myself prepared. Like, I started back in October, like really trying to learn and get a new skill set and everything.
Yeah. What skills?
So like Stixx. I'm learning Stixx. I ended up taking like a master class with Tila Holcomb. I don't know if anyone's heard of her, but I really, really like her because the way she explains it, she breaks it down into like really simple life examples. And for me, like how I learned, if you put it into a life example, it just clicks totally different. So I took her master class in October, and after that, I started like looking for courses. I've taken a few of her webinars. I bought a couple of not stock books. I've seen some stock books. I've more so get my stock information from her Facebook group and another Facebook group I follow. They have the Budgetnista. So I watch more webinars for my stock information than I do read books, but I do have some books lined up to read to learn more about how it works and everything. So I was preparing in October. It just
kind of like threw you off.
It did.
So with with the breakdown of what you were saying, so how would you say her breakdown help you? I mean, like, give me an example of what you mean. Like, I guess in real time.
So one breakdown I remember in particular, she was teaching us how to read, like basic from the basics. So she was teaching us how to read the charts. Okay. So long story short, there are like certain parameters that you set up. There are Bollinger Bands and the moving average. So when she was talking about the Bollinger Band part, she equated that to a river. So there are like three lines. There's the top, the middle, and the bottom. So the top one and the bottom one are like the outside part of the river. And then the middle one, I mean, it's not really significant, but it plays a part. So with the candlesticks, if they are, she equated, I forgot moving averages. The moving averages, she used that. She said they were like fish in the water. So, okay.
No, it's cool. I got you. Because I see the candlesticks, and then I understand what you mean by like when you're reading the chart.
Right.
Because once you're reading the chart, you seeing this may be the peak.
Right.
You may see
Right.
the bottom. The bottom is representing the red or the
Right.
down when the stock has gone down. In the middle is just like your average of what the stock may cost. So I can see
Yeah. Yes.
anybody that's trying to like get an interpretation.
Yeah. So it was interesting how she did that. So, if it reaches the top, it's going to come back down. So
Yeah.
if you want to buy an option, that's what you look for. So
Gotcha.
it was neat. Like, I really like the way she teaches.
I think that's still good. I mean, like even in the time, but I mean we'll kind of we'll stay right there. Like I listen to it's a brother named Wall Street Trapper,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Ashley Fox. Like those have been two that have, you know what I'm saying, kind of helped in the stock game and stock field, stock market, as well as Jeremiah Brown. That's another one of my homeboys out of California. So just I guess in terms of like the stock, what I got was from Ashley Fox. And she made it simple, like, okay, if I think it was during Christmas, because she was like, if you're gonna go buy your child all these different presents and stuff like that, they gonna play with them that day. But then once they done playing with them the next week, what you gonna do? So now if you
Right.
invest into the stock, at least you know that, okay, like my child wants some Nikes. If I invest into Nike and this is for the child, next year this time I might buy the stock at $40. Next year this time it may be worth $60 or 70 or 100,
Mm-hmm.
just depending on the value of the stock in the market, meaning the market, like what's going on in the world. What I can tie that into is like two things. Okay, what's current is Michael Jordan being on ESPN, right? That's
Yeah. I
it.
don't
I mean,
watch a lot of TV, but
it may not be you, but it's like all my homies talking about this right now.
oh, okay. Okay.
Jordan is Jordan that Jordan and LeBron. So like
Gotcha.
what most people don't see is that when they talking Jordan and LeBron and even Kobe, rest in peace, Kobe, um, they talking business too because Nike, they wear Nike shoes. So I'm like in my mind, like, okay, since all this talk is on Nike, let me go invest in the Nike stock. So it's gonna fluctuate up and down. It's gonna fluctuate. Like
Mm-hmm.
it went down when the COVID hit. But now, if I invest in the Nike now, and all this talk is on Jordan, and Jordan is on ESPN with this documentary, you know what I'm saying, The Last Dance. Guess who owns ESPN? I want to see if you know your stock game. Who owns ESPN? You
I
don't know.
don't.
It's okay.
I,
It's all right. It's all right. Disney owns ESPN.
really?
I send you a chart, and you're gonna be like, no, they don't. They acquired a lot of different companies over time. So it's like
Wow.
me seeing this information and seeing this chart, it's like, damn. So while everybody talking about these two things, damn, I need to be investing money because if everybody running their mouth about it in the public arena, then damn, I could be putting money behind it. So as they talking, price it'll fluctuate. It might go up, it might go down, but at least I'm in the market. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I even did that when it was a show that hit HBO. I can't think of the name of it, but with HBO, AT&T owns HBO. My phone is with AT&T, so I'm like, you know what? The smartest thing for me to do is to invest into AT&T stock since they own HBO and everybody running their mouth. This show that's on HBO. I think Game of Thrones is one of the shows that's on HBO.
I thought they was done.
I know they done, but I'm
Oh, got
trying to like
example. Got you.
as an example. It's on HBO. Let me go on and invest into it. But that's just one way I look at it. I didn't want to just take over, but you did say mentally, but like what was also the aspect of COVID affecting you, like personally?
Um, See, so in my mind, it personally, I want to say it affected me, but it kind of didn't. I think I just kind of hyped it up because, like I told you, I was getting myself prepared in October. So, like, when we got laid off, a good chunk of my bills were already kind of paid 2 or 3 months in advance because that's just me. Like, even if I know I'm ahead, I'll still pay it like I owe it that month. So like, even if I didn't have anything, I still was kind of covered for the next couple of months. But how I think about it, it's not like that. In my mind, it's like, okay, yes, I may be covered for the next couple of months, but when that's over, what am I gonna do? So I was freaking like I owed bills. I didn't, but in my mind, it's just like, okay, it's coming. So I ended up looking for another job. I didn't necessarily want to do that, but I got to do what I have to do right now to get to where I'm trying to go. And I still need to use them to fund my account to start trading and all that stuff. So I kind of had to look at it like that. Cause a part of me was like, dang, you failed, you had to get another job and you working for the man. But then I was like, no, you're using them to help you get to the point that you're trying to get to.
Exactly. That's why I was like, I can't even see it as a failure. I tell my homies, like, look, man, it ain't, you either gonna learn or you gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say lose. I mean, lesson. It's either you learn or it's a lesson. Or no, it's not a loss. You learning. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what the deal is. Yeah. But it's just like, so even in terms of like the whole thing with that being said, so we both learned a lot with just dealing with Derek, where it's like, do you have formulas per se as far as when you dealing in the stock market, or can I make suggestions on some things that can kind of like can leverage where you can start putting money to the side and being able to dump that money into whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever is an extreme to purchase what you want. Or like, let me ask you this so I make it clear. When you're dealing with the market, is it certain companies that you're looking for, or are you doing like day trade or what? Like,
okay, so you mentioned Wall Street Trapper. I bought one of his courses.
Yeah.
And in listening to it, he really, really emphasizes doing your research about a company.
Got to.
So I've really been trying to focus on doing that and understanding what it is that I'm reading and what I need to pay attention to and what I don't need to pay attention to. So I've made a couple of small trades, like $30, which is something, I'm getting, I'll slowly build up, but I've really been trying to focus on the research, because he teaches more so investing, like picking a stock to invest in and that you're going to hold on to. So right now, that's kind of like my formula, really making sure that I am doing the research part, because that's a big, he really, really emphasizes that when he talks about the market.
You gotta do research. And that's like, not only does he push that, but also Ashley Fox does too. And I'm pretty sure, what was the woman name that you
Tila Holcomb. She's more so trading. She teaches more so trading, and then Wall Street is more investing. So I'm trying to learn both.
I mean, I think it's good because like me learning from both of these people, it's like I got the street. You know what I'm saying? That's one way I definitely can say, okay, I can apply from my own personal lessons. And then it's like, from what Ashley Fox got, it's like, oh, okay, she's coming more from a technical standpoint of, I've been on Wall Street to see how this shit operates and works. So now if I can mash both of these two and I can walk their lines, like, man, well, what if I came up with a formula where I'm like, for a year, it's 52 weeks in a year, right? And I'm like, well, shit, let me start out for the first 6 months. Let me do $11. Let me do $11 every week. that I just put in my account. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? For
Right.
26 weeks. What is that? What's that math? I know you know it. It's in your head. It's in your head. It's in your head. I'm using a motherfucking calculator for the bill. $286. I got it. I'm faster than you. Nah, but that's
I was trying to get it.
that's $286 in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine you may be able to go buy a share of AT&T and it's $30. You can go
Right.
buy multiple shares, or you can just go buy, like a bunch of shares is 90 cents. You know what I'm saying? You can buy multiple shares, but I just see that formulas will work for me. It may not work for everybody else. Some people may be emotional spenders. I was there at first, where it's like, shit, I can go and invest in this, right? Hey, but I think it's a part of the process.
Right.
And when you do the research and you learn about what companies offer when they offer dividends and different things of that nature, now it's like, okay, if I go buy 10 shares of AT&T, I know they're gonna pay me a dividend back. Well, shit, I'm paying for my phone bill. Then why not get paid back from this?
Right.
Use that money to either, stash into more AT&T or go, buy more shares of another company.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a podcast that the Wall Street Chopper was on, and I think it was
the
Ernie. He was
he killed that shit.
Yeah. So how he was talking about like using that to kind of pay your utilities. That's where I'm trying to get to.
That's where you get to.
That's what I'm working on getting to.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I think, like I said, it's all about over time and doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So did I ask you how have you been productive during this time then?
When I first got laid off, I was actually the first 2 weeks of me being laid off, because the last 2 weeks I was working, I got hired and went through training and whatnot. But those first 2 weeks, every day I did practice trades. There's on my brokerage account, you can do like practice trades. So I did those every single day. There was a lot of losses, a lot of losses. But there were a couple of wins too. So, and in that I was learning, like, I hate to fail, but especially with those 2 weeks of me consistently like practicing in my practice account, I really more so understood why failing is so important, because in doing that, I was learning stuff and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I was just a big nerd, but I really took the time to study that. And I kept, like, before I got laid off, I kept saying, I need off days so I can work on that when the market is open, so I can see how it works. So, I mean, like, it kind of worked out.
But you got to do that too when it's like, all right, today I'm going to set like 20 minutes, nothing but studying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That'll help out too, because now it's like, when you get that free time, not only can you go back over these notes you already taken, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got access to that too.
Yep. I got an hour every day to, try to put a trade in and make my plan. So
hey, when you get rich, let me borrow $1.
I got you.
All right. So I know that you've been doing your thing. Like, what you done with the productivity of your time?
I mean, like, I still incorporate, like, after work, I'll take an hour because I talk to people all day, and that's draining, especially if they rude. But I'll take an hour and
you can't do that. You can't, do that. They're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of her. You can't have that. You can eat your money.
Right. But after that, I will look at 2 stocks that I want to try and make moves in. And I'll make my trading plan for the trading part. And then I try to at least get 30 minutes of reading for a stock that I want to invest in. Okay. So that's kind of, since, I got the new job, that's kind of been my routine I'm trying to get back into.
Gotcha. So, Do you have a podcast? What's the name of it, and what topics do you cover? Yeah,
I do have a
yeah.
podcast. It is the Stixx Podcast.
That's what's up.
it I my topics.
I mean,
I guess
it's you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, they're kind of they're personal topics, but I feel like they're personal topics that people can relate to. Maybe not all of it, but there could be like one episode that somebody's like, "Oh, I feel the same way." I think a lot of it revolves around like how I react to people and how people react to me, and my views and perceptions and what they think and what I think. Um, yeah, it's pretty much like my human interaction with people, mainly my family, sometimes friends,
Yeah,
sometimes coworkers.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's like you gotta take it all in. Like you said, it's all about perspective. And then what I'm finding out for me personally is once you do the work for self, like I could take this back to Derek Grace, where it's like going into class and saying, okay, for these couple of days, first I'm gonna give away something that's of value to myself.
mm,
I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna give away a pain. Like I know you kind of see a couple of the pains in the background, but like I gave away a Bob Marley pain. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, I gave away a pain and some clippers. And in turn, like not even think about it, my car had gone down like 3 or 4 months before that. Shit, I get a phone call. Hey man, I got a car for sale. Like, all right, whoop de whoop, shit. And now I got a, you know what I'm saying? Now I got an Avalon. I'm like, okay,
that's what's up.
yeah. And what happened was it was like work I did years ago paid the Avalon off because I was working for free. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And it's like, shit, I can't beat that where I'm like, I needed to get paid at that point. I was broke as a motherfucker, but it's like, look at what came in exchange. Like when I'm quote unquote at my lowest,
Right.
some came in. But that's like I said, I think that's just a part of it, just being and learning patience in self. And then also like
Oh,
seeing the perspective of I may have failed at these certain points in time, but that's not the end of things.
right.
It's something else past this. Once you go through that threshold, it's something else past this. And if you keep going, you're gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So and I think stocks are a part of this question. What are your future goals that you may have? You know what I mean?
My future goals at the moment that are consistently on my mind is making sure that I have an emergency fund.
Okay. Yeah. That's big.
Um, Again, I was in the process of doing that. I'm still, putting towards it. So it's not something I stopped because of what's going on. Well, 2 weeks I did stop because, I didn't know where my income was coming from, but I picked it back up.
Wow, that's good.
And then I really I want to understand the stock stuff more. Like, I feel like right now I'm struggling with understanding it because I may be overthinking it, which I'm good for. But I really want to be able to understand that enough to make what I make working at the job through stocks so
Mhm.
I can switch over and be okay with stocks and just grow from there.
That's how you got to do it, though. Like even going back to the facts of you were saying emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just had to dive into an emergency fund because I'm like in the past I may have had to pick up the phone again. Hey man, I need to borrow about $300 right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Look, I'm gonna need another 100 on top of that. Just motherfucker. nah. But nah, it's I guess the things turn into dealing with life,
Mm-hmm.
failing at certain shit, and it's like, okay, I can't think of it's a white guy named I can't think of his name now, but it was him along with my homeboy Jeremiah Brown, and it was one of my other partners. His name is Terrence Wilson. He has a page on Facebook called the Money Tribe. So one way in which he helped me was he was like, "Hey man, every week save the amount per week, which is start off with dollar a week, $2 a week, $3 a week, $4 a week, $5 a week. You can start that as your emergency fund. By the end of the year, I think that's like $1,400 if you do it like week by week by week. You know, the last like the 52nd week you put $52 in. I think that total adds up to like $1,300. So it's like I'm big on formulas and personal formulas because as an individual, now you can determine, all right, if I have $1,300 at the end of the year in a stash and I don't have to use this as an emergency fund, you can start the next year or whatever and say, okay, I'm gonna do A, B, C, or D. I'm gonna invest into this. It may be stocks, it may be a new computer, it may be some tires, it may be whatever, but at least you got a stash, you got some cushion.
Right.
But even if you have a job, you might say, well, what I might do is let's just say let's just say you roughly make $200 a day. You might say, well, I'm gonna save 10% of whatever I earn every day.
Well, see, Wall Street Trapper, he gave some ratios. I think he said you invest 70. I can't remember what he said with the 30 or
Yeah,
the 20,
yeah,
and then the 10% is play money. So, before all this COVID stuff, I was doing that. I would take, so when I would get my paycheck, I would figure out what 10% of that was, and then
yeah,
whatever that portion was, then I'd break that down into the 70, 20, 10.
yeah, yeah.
And that's how I was doing that.
No,
So
but that's smart though.
typically I do have a formula. It's just not a daily formula because I don't be making money like that. It's more like a every pay period formula.
Gotcha. So at the same time, like, and this is making me think about the last recession that went on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what you're doing now is really setting up for if there's another downturn years from now. You know what
I'll
I'm
be
saying?
ready.
Like, my thing was I was in barber school at the last recession. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck a recession was. So I'm just being honest. So it's like now I can say, okay, I see the job market was in trouble then. The housing market was in trouble too. So like now this go around, I've been doing a lot. I've been doing, gardening. On top of that, doing studying coding and video game programming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but in between going to barber school and this point, I learned a lot about cryptocurrency, blockchain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of valuable information. Where it's like people are just now understanding what blockchain technology is, cryptocurrency, stock market. Around my age. You know what I mean? Some
Right.
people knew about it. Like we used to see it on the TV. Like, man, what the? We see these lines. I'm like, man, what
Mm-hmm.
the hell is this shit? And I'm
That
like,
don't even make sense.
I'm like, no, it made something. It struck a nerve. Like, say for instance, these lines behind me on this paint. These lines mean something. You know what I'm saying? So I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like nobody's saying, hey, look, give me 15 minutes of your time so I can teach you this. So had they showed me then, I could say, okay, Amazon. If Amazon is building for the future to be online and it's only $1 a share, it's like shit. If I get $10, I can put $5 on it right today at a dollar a share. Today is worth $2,400 a share.
Yes.
So it's like you plan for the future. not just planning, you know what I'm saying? So you were saying like and we were talking, you was like, I don't think I'm prepared. Well, I'm like, shit. Well, my home was like, if you stay prepared, you ain't got to get prepared. But I
Facts.
think that just go into having a thirst for information and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I refer back to the in-home banking class, and I'm like, it was a lot of people in there where we all were able to connect and say, okay, wherever we were in the world, we were able to connect, not knowing that shit, you was gonna start a podcast, somebody else was gonna start one, somebody else got a book, somebody. So it's like now in the near future, it's like, shit, where your book at? You know what I'm saying about the stock market. Shit, you might have 10 people that you sharing information with to get, and learn about the stock market. Even your brothers and sisters, or you know what I'm saying, your cousins or whoever, they might find interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So have you the last greatest book that you read? And then
Uh,
what book are you currently reading?
the last greatest book I read.
I know that was a crazy question. I probably worded.
No. Because it's like I've been reading books. Like I'm trying to get more into reading books. I think the last one I read was Mind Right, Life Right. I probably messed up that title, but it was by Ash Cash. I don't know if you've seen him. He's okay.
Nah,
Well, anyway, it was like a mindset book because I've been working on my mindset for the last year. I come from a very negative mindset, and I've really been working to be more positive and uplifting. So that was the last book I read, and I like that. And then the current book that I'm reading is another somewhat mindset one. It's Manifesting You, 111 Keys to Something Your Divinity. But it's basically like it has like every page there's like a quote. And some of them like resonate. I haven't read it, and I think I'm hesitant about it because
it's all good.
but I mean it's a good book. It's a good book. I struggle with uplifting myself sometimes. So I feel like and I think sometimes that's why I made my podcast, to kind of help me get comfortable with myself and how I think and how I feel, and just be okay with that. Don't worry about, what other people think. It is what it is.
That shit gonna drain you if you do that.
Yeah, it does. It does. But yeah, that's the current book I'm reading. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't touched it in a couple weeks. But I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back on there. All this stuff at my new job and trying to learn it. Like
cool.
I really let that stress me out. But I'm getting back into my routine.
Yeah. So what was I? I was thinking about it's a book I'm reading now, and what you made me think about was a book that, and I showed it the last time. Can you see that?
Resonate. Yep.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to send you a book from her. It's a young chick named Alex Wolf, and her father introduced her to technology. So when him introducing her to technology as a child, it opened up her mind, but she wasn't realizing what he did. But at the same time, him doing it made me think about my daughter and introducing her into technology from a standpoint they were born into this shit. It was more or less like it was all, we were born into the technology too, but now you got phones and it's your bank. You know what I'm saying? It's damn near your ride, because you can get
Ubers.
you can order your food. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can do the stock market, you can do everything, you can write it, you can do everything from the phone. You can build a website, you can do whatever.
Get a form notarized.
Yeah. So like with the book Resonate, she calls out a book that I read called The Artist's Way. So if you get a chance, I say check that book out. It's really on I say a spiritual tip because it's just more or less when I was reading the book, my cousin wound up putting me on it. I call him my cousin, but he wound up putting me on the book, and it made it where me being a writer, it made it where I had to write something every day, whether I had something on my mind or not, and it made it to a point where I wouldn't have writer's block. So me
Hmm.
going through these things, it kind of built confidence, and it also got whatever was on my mind out, fears, negativity, positivity, like. And then I think like a week or like a month later, you gotta go back and read. It was called like morning pages. So y'all would get up and I would write, and go back and
And
read
you were just writing anything that was on your mind?
everything that was on my mind. And it was like what happened was I couldn't be negative towards any. It was like I just had to pour into this page, and then come back and just let that shit be because this doesn't determine or define me. This is what I'm seeing. This is just the foundational thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it definitely helped out. But this book, Resonate, is a good book. But I think Artist Way will help you out too. Resonate, I think will help you. I think it will help you in terms of the direction in which you're going in now. Where you like how you saying like you're not really worried about anybody else, or at a point you were, but now it's like it'll kind of like it'll show you like what you're doing is already on point. It's just more or less like continue doing it. Everything's gonna manifest because at one point you didn't have a podcast. Now you do have a podcast. You might bring the visual aspect. You might have a graphic designer design your, the cover of your flyer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it's just a work in progress. Then you'll get to talking about the stocks, and then you'll become an expert at that and share that information. So it's you know what I mean, like it's on the way. Um, I can't even think of what's the last great book I read. I read a book from Gary V, Crushing It, and that was a couple of years ago. But it's like
Gary V has book. Well, of course why wouldn't he?
that motherfucker book is cold. Like, well, I read a couple of books this year already. But if I could say, like, I read Alchemist. Uh,
I want to read that. I hear that
I
book is
couldn't even
really good.
I read that book in like a night. I couldn't even put the book down. It had me hungry for just reading what was gonna come on next and what was gonna come on next. But I read a bunch of PDF books. Um, Definitely crushing it. Crushing it was dope because he was the man was saying shit like, "What's the thing with Sammy?" Okay, Amazon. What's the Echo? Is it called Echo? The little
That little camera thing.
no, the little voice.
Alexa.
Alexa. He was like, it's gonna come a point where some of these celebrities gonna be the voices of these things. And
Well,
he
they already
yes,
got Issa Rae.
but this was
She.
this was 3 years ago though.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just like he predicted, and I ain't just gonna say predicted, but he was saying like basketball cards were gonna be valuable again. Cause we grew up buying basketball cards, putting them in the sleeves, and they had value. Just these things of value are starting to come up and talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see if I got I know I've been reading a bunch of health books too. Um, this is more about because I hadn't eaten any meat or any chicken, any fish since like November.
Last year.
Yeah, because I previously went vegan, but it was like years ago. But I've been working on it again. So like being in the garden been helping me. You know what I'm saying? And I think I won't say the COVID thing, but like it's been a test. Like lately, I'm like, man, I'm on a I want me a goddamn chicken sandwich so motherfucking bad. And then it's like the voice in me be like, nah, nigga, don't do it. Nah, nigga, don't do it because you about to fuck us up. But I learned, like one of my OGs taught me about keeping my colon clean and keeping my immune system boosted. So it's like during this time where I'm seeing a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people not prepared for what's going on. They aren't aware of the immune system, or they wish they knew. It's like, well, shit, I know about ginger. I know about the oranges. I know about lemons. I know about spirulina. So it's like this from from past conversations to where I was sharing this information. So it's been cool, you know what I mean? Like to be on point and be on top of that.
Do you take any like supplements?
Yeah, I actually did. I ran out and I hadn't even read up yet. But
Okay.
that spirulina is a good supplement. I had some type of, it's like it's a vitamin with like 53 different um vitamins included into it. One vitamin had like, I won't say vitamins, but 53 different supplements that was in it. That was like I could definitely tell my energy level was on a whole
Better.
another level. But I was glad that I got the previous work before now,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like had I not, I wouldn't be prepared for, you know what I'm saying, like what's going on now. Somebody be like, well, man, I'm feeling like this. I'm like, go get a watermelon. You feeling feverish because once you drink that watermelon or eat that watermelon juice, it's gonna flush you out, because it's gonna cool your body down. Especially like if a child is hot,
Mm-hmm.
you get that watermelon, it's gonna take that fever out because it's
Hmm.
just it's just coming straight up. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't know that.
Yeah, or like sinus build up in the nasal cap and in the head and the throat. You drink orange juice and cayenne pepper every morning. It's gonna flush all of that out.
Ooh, that cayenne pepper be kicking, man.
Yeah, but it clean you out though, clear you out. So I got you on this. What was something that you learned from Derek Grace?
Something that I learned from him
You can be like,
is
man, I appreciate what he did. You know what I'm saying?
I think what I learned from him is how the system really is. Because honestly, before him, I didn't think about it. I just was going along with the emotion, the motions. And I remember he was talking about how the 401ks work. And I remember that one in particular. I tried to get mine. Like I tried to cash it out or whatever, and they wouldn't let me. Like it had to be like some major emergency. And I was like, wow. And I remember him talking about, they saying they helping you with this, but when you
When you
come to them and need it, like they won't give it to you. So when that I was like, okay, there's so much that I really
need to learn.
just was unaware of. So like, I think he really opened my eyes to how the world is. Honestly, I think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have made a lot of the different life changes I've made as far as trying to, have future plans and have the emergency fund and learning skills to have like different streams of income. Like he really opened my eyes to the world. Like a world I didn't even really know was right there.
So how are you applying it?
Um, so I've been trying to get new skills, the stocks. I remember a couple of years back there was a book he was doing, 101 or
Yeah,
100.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
okay, yeah, that one. And I was looking through there, and there was something about a notary. So I went to apply to be a notary in the state of Virginia. And what's funny is when the COVID stuff happened, because I had that was how I was able to get my next job. So I don't know. He just some of the stuff that he put out there to look into and try has benefited me now.
So just imagine like 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like what you already learned, what you got, and what you applying pressure to now. You know what I'm saying? Like what he always says, ABC, adversity builds character. And as you can see, I got a bunch of characters.
Big facts.
Yeah, checking the shit out of me. They're like, I look like Clarence Williams the third. No, I'm Clarence Williams the fourth. That's what they calling me now.
Oh god.
That Negro from Tales from the Hood. I was
It's
like,
all right.
Then I got called Frederick Douglass, the the nigga version of Frederick Douglass. I was like, oh man, y'all, hell man, y'all niggas full of shit. But nah, I ain't taking it personal. But
yeah,
nah, it's I can say like what Derek showed me is what I was looking to do with my own with my family, and like actually setting up the infrastructure of, look, we young, we can get this information, and if the tribe has the information, when we go out here in the world, we can dominate.
mm-hmm.
But it's like I don't think people understood what I was saying, and now it's like everybody want it now. Everybody want to get this info, and they may not say it or may not show it, but it's like I see it in their eyes now, where it's like, how motherfucker you weren't understanding then, but now it's like, all right, let's work, let's put this work in, and it's like,
Yeah.
I also understand that everything takes time. You know what I'm saying? It can't be rushed. It can be forced, but it's like time or the situation may force things to where you have to get in line and say, okay, let's work as a collective. Or I ask a question like this, and you may not have even seen this. How old are you, by the way?
28.
28.
Ooh,
All right.
Shouldn't have had to think about it that hard.
Yeah, I'm 39, so but like I was asking, like, during this time frame, I never hear, I might say this wrong, but the Hispanics or the Mexicans per se, I never hear them say, well, we don't have a grocery store to go shopping in. I've never heard them say that. Their community is fulfilled with everything they need, everything. Clothes, food. They work as a collective on everything. They go buy food as a collective and everything. So now, people relative to me, we don't even have mom and pop stores in the neighborhood anymore. And I'd be like, what the fuck happened? Where was the ball drop? And then I'm looking back, but it's like, well, you can't look back, you gotta look forward. Well, shit, if I'm looking forward, if my foundation it wasn't structured and laid, then I'm gonna go through some obstacles that my counterpart or other people of other ethnicities, they don't have to deal with, like the Asians. The Asians and I say the Chinese and the Japanese, like per se, they got markets and shit set up. They got infrastructure set up. But it's like I can complain about it, or I can say, "Hey, look, motherfucker! Like, if we don't work as a collective now and create our own ecosystem, bitch, don't complain.
Right?
You can't complain. You know what I'm saying? We worried about, oh man, somebody liking my fresh ass rims or my fresh ass car. Not saying don't have nice things, but it's like, man, where are your values and what are you looking forward to doing? If not, shit, man, you can't complain about it. But this your time now. Like, just tell people where they can find you at, and where they can check out the podcast, and also like just share an encouraging word for somebody that may not know what they want to do, or just may not be looking at things like you're looking at them.
So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is I_STIIXX. my podcast link is in my bio there. So I'll just click on
I
that.
include it in the bio. I include it in this video too.
Oh, okay, good looking. And you said something encouraging.
Yeah, something that you could just share with the people, because I know somebody gonna see this and be like, man, like that was a dope interview.
What I want to say is, or what's on my heart right now is to keep striving to be better. I know me right now with all this COVID stuff, like I find myself kind of reverting back to old mindsets and habits of being stuck in whatever is going on. Mm-hmm. But I'm pushing through that, and I'm seeing that the way I get through stuff is very different from other people. Like a lot of the people that I get my inspiration from, they very tough, like, don't let nobody see you sweat XYZ. Me, I cry about it. I cry about it and cry about it. And then after I'm done crying, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? And I figure that out.
You still got to
yeah. Right. And even as I'm trying to figure it out and I start getting stressed, I start crying again. But I'm not giving up. I'm still trying to stay positive, even though I'm like, it looks like I'm just giving up. I just keep doing whatever it is you're trying to do. Even if it's like little progress, it's still progress. I used to be a person who looked at stuff where it was like, if it wasn't like a big significant something, I wasn't doing nothing. That's how I used to look at it. And like sometimes I still find myself kind of looking at it, but I have to take a step back and be like, some progress is progress. So, try to be proud of that progress, even though it's not a great difference that is seen like that,
Yeah. No, that's real. I mean, that's my OG told me that too. It was like, you gotta look at these small forms of and small bits of progress as major steps, because over time, that's gonna be your success. Yeah. That becomes your success. I mean, who else is gonna tell you that? Who else is gonna see that? So, I mean, that's all I got. I appreciate
That's all he wrote.
Yeah, this is Art the Architect with More Than Haircut Podcast. No, I am not Clarence Williams III, from the hood, nor am I Frederick Douglass.
Hey, I would rock Frederick. He was influential.
I mean, I thought about it in a music video. It's between me and you and all the fans that's watching this shit.
Got you.
Song, I'm thinking about wearing a fro out with the pod, with the beard. You hear me? But I appreciate you though.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Peace.
Bye.